everybody. Me, Greg Miller, and now I'm joined by the lovely Chris Tilley.
Bonjour.
How you doing? Bonjour. Oh my goodness, he's world traveled, ladies and gentlemen. I can't believe it. Chris, you talk about movies a lot. Let's talk about Kick-Ass 2. But I don't want to just talk to you. Bring me some cool people.
I will bring you Christopher, Donald, and Jeff.
Hey,
hi, what's
how
up,
are
guys?
you?
What's
Hi,
up?
everybody.
Hey,
We are cool people.
From our large studio audience. Talking about Kick-Ass 2. It's a movie coming out soon.
Okay, that's enough. That's
No?
enough.
You didn't like the skills?
I did. I love the skills.
Okay,
We
good.
gotta get into
All
that.
right, tell me about Kick-Ass 2, everybody. Chris, you start.
I'm going to start with Jeff. You're the writer-director of Kick-Ass 2.
I am the writer-director of Kick-Ass 2.
How did this happen?
How did this happen?
Good question.
How did a vagabond like you get
Well, there's this little movie called Kick-Ass. I saw it. I loved it. Had nothing to do with the making of that film. But I talked to Matthew Vaughn, and he was like, do you want to make Kick-Ass 2? And I said yes, and it happened.
How did you talk to Matthew? How did you guys
I
have
had
a
another
relationship?
project. Yeah, another project. I pitched him something, and then he went and made X-Men, so I wrote it. Then he read the script, and he was like, the script is just like the pitch. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, so you do what you say you're going to do. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, do you want to do Kick-Ass 2? And I was like, yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
And we have a mutual friend in Mark Miller.
Yes.
What's it like working with Mark Miller?
Mark is an insane man. He thinks things that most human beings don't think, and then he writes them down. And I actually think that means that he is a truly unique voice, and I love him for that. And I think he is celebrated for it, and will be celebrated for a long time. I loved working with him. He's just crazy.
He was very involved with the movie.
Yeah, really involved. But also the first one to say, you know, a movie and a comic are two different things. And if you're too slavish in your adaptation, the movie's not going to work. We all know what movies he's talking about. I don't need to name them. So he said, just make your movie. And that's what we did.
Because there are some things in the Kick-Ass 2 comic book that I don't think you could put in the movie.
It's not just that. You know, when you make a comic book, you don't have, for example, you don't have access to music, right? So you need to do different things to make an emotional point. And also, you're not even dealing with real people. You're dealing with representations of people. So if you want the audience to be shocked, you got to go even further because you don't have real people. I have the luxury of real people like these guys, and so I don't need to do as much to get a response from the audience.
So Donald, you're new to this franchise. Tell us about your character.
I play Dr. Gravity. I like to think of him as the Lando Calrissian of the Kick-Ass trilogy.
You're the only one who can be.
He's a guy who's inspired by Kick-Ass to put on a costume and go out and fight crime. And he and Kick-Ass have a team up, and during the team up, he tells Kick-Ass about this awesome group, Justice Forever. And he asks Kick-Ass if he wants to join, and they go into the Justice Forever lair, and we meet the rest of the new characters, which are, you know, Colonel Stars and Stripes, Night Bitch. Great, best name. Best name. You can say bitch on IGN, can't you?
Yeah. We just can't say his character's name.
Well, we should use the TV line, which is Melon Farmer.
The Melon Farmer.
The Melon Farmer.
I was calling him the mother effer yesterday.
That works. Yeah.
That works too.
So what's going on with him in this movie?
He's back.
He's bad, man. He lost his father at the end of the first one, and something happens to his mother, so he has no family to fall back on this. And when a character has no family to fall back on, they kind of can risk everything and anything, like the Punisher, you know. So he's just got revenge on his mind in this for Kick-Ass.
And how nasty does it get?
It gets nasty. I mean, we were just talking about what he does in the comic book. There's some stuff that we don't put in, like the murdering of a dog and the raping of a woman, which I think is very dark. Too dark, possibly, for the movie, but he gets very nasty. Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is I actually think Chris in the comic and Chris in the movie represent the biggest variation. You know, I think Dave in the comic and the movie are much more similar than Chris in the movie and Chris in the comic. And I think a lot of the credit goes to Chris because he created a character that is so unique. So when we were adapting the comic, I had to think about what is the movie version of Chris going to do, and I wanted to play to Chris's strengths as an actor. So we actually have like fun with the dog's death. You know, someone suggested it, and Chris goes, "I'm not that evil," you know, and it's a great laugh and a great moment. And then he says, like, you know, do this terrible thing, and walks out and says, "Let's get some food." And I think you were able to deliver those moments so well that it was important to lean into your strengths as an actor.
Yeah.
I came on the set last year and everyone was talking about Mother Russia. Can you tell us a little bit about this character?
Well, Chris got to work with her so much. You should just describe your first impression.
Yeah, I mean, it was frightening. First impression was frightening. She's a huge. How tall is she? 7 feet, like
No,
6'10"?
No, she's like 8'4".
Yeah,
She's like 6'3" in
She's
all
like
honesty.
6'4".
Yeah, but we
But
put her
like
in like
rock.
we put her in like 6-inch heels. So
Daughter
Yeah.
of Paul Bunyan.
yes.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Just a huge, muscular. She was a bodybuilder, and at first you're very frightened, but she doesn't speak English, and she's the sweetest woman on earth. Like you see her blowing up cars, and then Jeff would run up to her and be like, "Oh, good take," and she goes like, "Thank you." Like really, the sweetest woman that you would not expect. I mean, she kills it in the movie. She's fantastic.
And it's going to be great to see Hit Girl fighting her, I think, because it's an awesome fight at the end of Kick-Ass when she fights your father.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird watching a guy hit a little girl, whereas watching a woman hit a little girl is not so bad.
I see that every day.
You do.
And also, I guess Colonel Stars and Stripes, who you mentioned, is another big character. So can you talk about him and who plays him?
I mean, he's fantastic in the movie. It is the great Jim Carrey, who is literally I think a creative genius. You know, the ideas he brought to the process, his take on the character, just really fleshed him out in an incredibly compelling way. And I think we largely shop the script, but when you have Jim on set, he just comes up with so many different things. And two of my favorite moments in the movie were improvs when he says, and try to have fun, because otherwise what's the point? That he just came up with that in the moment. And there's a dog on your balls. That he actually broke character when he said that. He's not even really in the Colonel's character in that moment, because we're shooting the scene and it's so absurd. And we have this dog that's trained to like grab a dog toy, and it's like stitched into the trainer's costume, and the dog is like down on the trainer's balls, and Jim is standing there, and he's just like, this is just so absurd. And the guy's like, oh, it hurts. He's like, yeah, there's a dog on your balls. And we put it in the movie. It's great.
Yeah.
Why don't you ad-lib more?
Why don't I ad lib more?
Why, come on, be a comic
That
genius.
was so
huh?
serious.
I was going to have a big ad lib.
You just
Vendetta
broke
against
my
your
heart.
I don't work at
I was
the
like,
Why don't you ad lib more?
I'm sorry. I had one ad lib. Dr. Gravity, one of his lines is, I will levitate a man's soul from his body. And that was me.
Yeah,
All right,
that
that's
was all
really good. That's really good.
Poetic.
He did it like 14
Poetic.
times.
I
He's
did
like,
the-
he came to me when the turns like, that's gonna be in the movie, right? And I was like,
Well,
"Yes, Tom."
maybe not this scene. I was like, all right, I'll get it to the next one. Don't worry about it.
Every time,
Every time.
you're making toast in the movie.
I'll levitate a
your
man's soul from his body.
What's Dr. Gravity's thing?
What's Dr. Gravity's thing?
What's his thing?
His thing is his bat, his gravity stick, his anti-gravity stick, and he uses it to knock people's souls from their body. You understand what I'm saying?
Hence the line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant.
What's a gravity stick?
It's just a baseball
It's a
bat.
baseball bat wrapped in
Aluminum.
foil.
Too many questions.
You're trying to get
These aren't the droids you're looking for. Move along.
Christopher,
Yeah.
were you sure you wanted to come back? I mean, was there ever any doubt?
No, I mean, I talked to Chloe about it. Like, Chloe had the choice to do another movie or Kick-Ass 2, and we're speaking, we're like, Hit Girl was something that she created, and Red Mist was something that I created. There's been other Bruce Waynes, and there's been other Supermans, but these are like superheroes that are fresh, and there probably aren't going to be any remakes of this or any sequels.
Well,
no
let's
one
not put it
else.
past Hollywood.
Chris,
30 years.
that's
everybody-
something we need to tell you.
But, like,
I
you
could
know,
be the next. I could be the next Kick-Ass. You could be the next Hit Girl.
easily could be.
true.
But yeah, like those were characters that we created, and we had to come back and reprise those because no one else could.
So how's this one going to differ to the first one?
It differs in so many ways. I am a fan of the first one, and getting the opportunity to be in the second one, first off, is amazing. But it's bigger. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's better. You know what I mean? There's way more action. There's way more at stake. It's everything a sequel is supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Jeff did a really good job of writing 3 new character arcs because you saw these 3 characters in the first one. You don't want to see Red Mist. You don't want to see Hit Girl do the same thing. So in this one, I'm out for revenge. Hit Girl's becoming a little woman. She's starting to get feelings for guys, and he was really good at writing those new arcs.
Yeah, we were really clear from the very beginning. We did not want to do what I call a rinse and repeat sequel.
Right.
That we wanted to take these characters that we love, don't want to reboot or reimagine or do any of that, but take them and push them further. And I was just really lucky in that Chris, Chloe, and Aaron were all down for that and excited to do it. Because, as you said, no one had to do the movie. This isn't like a Marvel movie where you sign on for 7
The Kick-Ass
sequels.
franchise.
You guys read the script and you had the ability to make the choice. And I'm so glad you made the choice to do it again.
Of course.
We have a hard-hitting question question from Twitter. Remember, tweet at us at IGN, hashtag SDCC. Today's question comes from Smurfy McGee. He says, what percentage of the movie has ass kicking?
A hard-hitting question from Smurfy McGee.
Smurfy McGee's hitting him, man.
I mean, but I think because it's called Kick-Ass 2, I think we can safely say that 100% of the movie has some serious ass kicking. Well,
I would say 98%. There might be like a kiss or two, or like a hug, like something that's not an ass kick.
Here's the thing: we get to do it all, right? So we can have like intense action, we can have over-the-top humor, and we have emotion that's just like I think really raw and honest.
Yeah.
So every scene is sort of pushed to its extreme.
And Mark's made no secret of the fact that he's writing a trilogy of comics.
Mark who?
So, do you see somewhere for this story to go if this one does well?
Wherever Mark goes, I'm excited to follow and see what he does next because I'm just such a fan of his work.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming
Thank
by.
you.
When does Kick-Ass open?
August 16th, everywhere.
I'm a big fan. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Let
Thanks,
Donald
Smurfy McGee.
ad-lib more. That's
Ad-lib more.
Okay, well, on that note, we're going to go to commercial.
No.
You said ad-lib. I'm trying to give
Well,
you
you
something.
ad-libbed wrong. This
I'm
is the
sorry.
problem.
You got to give me guidelines.
All right, everybody, don't let him ad-lib anymore. Chris, you stick with me, though. We're going to ad-lib a whole bunch right now.
Let's do it.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm kind of tired.
Yeah, what'd you do last night? Gosh, God, this is the worst ad-libbing. You guys should have never started ad-libbing.
I was at the Kick-Ass 2 party last night.
I didn't get invited?
We were
Donald!
there. It was
What
good.
the hell, man?
Yeah, it was good.